What up, gang? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you. It is Tuesday morning. I hope everybody's doing good today. Fall camp starting this week for everybody across the country. South Carolina is going to take the field on Friday. I do believe some teams starting actually tomorrow. Some may actually have started today or be starting today. I'm not really sure why we're waiting until Friday. I think it must have something to do with you only have a certain number of practices that you can get in before the season starts. So maybe South Carolina's just going to keep it more compact, less days off. Not really sure. Doesn't matter. Everybody's going to get the same amount of work in. Guys, once again, it's just so hard to get that. First of all, before I get into that, if you're new around here, stay true around here. Subscribe to the Carolina Jackpot channel. Also, in the link down in the description box below will be my PayPal, Venmo, Cash App so that you can get into the Callaway's College Football Pick'em Challenge. No, I'm not here begging for donations. It's $20 to get in for action all 13 weeks of the regular season this year, and the winner is going to take home 70% of whatever the pot is that you guys go on ahead and build. If you're interested for more details on that contest, go back and watch a couple of videos ago. I put out a Callaway's College Football Pick'em Challenge video. That was about 3 or 4 minutes long, where I kind of explained how everything works on that deal. We have a great time doing this every year. I think this is like the 8th year in a row that we've done it, and it's been successful every year. And we make little changes every year to try to make it a little bit better as well. So go check out that last video on that. It's just so hard to get a read on South Carolina this year. You've got people all across the spectrum. I've got people out there on YouTube and other platforms who do college football predictions that have us going 9-3. So you got some saying we'll go 7-5. You got one saying 6-6. You got one having them 10-2 and going to the playoffs. Somebody's got Lenora Sellers winning the Heisman Trophy. You know, that would be great. That'd be wonderful. I don't know that either of those things will happen. But all of this stuff, guys, is going to hinge on South Carolina's offensive line. Everybody is really, really concerned about the defense. They're concerned about the draft picks that we lost. I think that these guys have proven that they can do more with less. South Carolina's defense is going to be fine. It might not be fine at first. It might take it a little bit of time to gel. Now, normally your defense is a little bit ahead of an offense when you start a season out. I think South Carolina is going to be the opposite, and it's understandable as to why. So that defense gels throughout the season. That's a good thing because your season is backloaded. You know, you got a home game with Alabama, who's likely going to come into Columbia a top 5 team. Now, we don't know that. It's just like when people talk about a game that's going to be played in week 8, and they'll say, well, so-and-so will be an underdog at Ohio State. Well, I mean, you don't know that. I mean, it's week 8, and we're sitting here talking about something the last week in July. You don't know who's going to be an underdog win. But it's likely to me that Bama will come into Columbia as a top 5 team. You got Texas A&M on the road. You got the home game with the Taters at the end of the season. So it's a backloaded schedule. You got a road game at Ole Miss. That ain't going to be easy. Ole Miss has got to figure out some things on offense, where South Carolina's got to figure them out on defense. I think they'll have things rolling by that point in the season. So it's a good thing that South Carolina will have some time to gel, that their season starts out a little bit softer and then gradually works its way into more difficult scenarios. The Rashul Faison thing, running back, transfer from Utah State. Guys rushed for, 2,500 yards over 2 years or something like that. Eligibility still up in the air. Still don't know anything. Here we are heading into fall camp. The NCAA at this point they're a pissed off child is what they are. They're a toddler who was told no in the checkout line at the grocery store, and now they're laying down in the floor, kicking their feet stomping, turning red, and proceeding to cause a scene. That's what they are. Because they've tried to enforce rules the past few years. Every rule that they've tried to enforce, it seems like you've got somebody suing them every time you turn around, whether it be Tennessee, whether it be Diego Pavia, a whole number of individuals or entities. They're sitting here suing the NCAA. Don't know if y'all noticed me look down with a look of concern just now. I just figured out that I left the bag with my handheld apparatus and some other things I needed at the last store I was at. Fortunately, I'm training a guy right now, and he's going to run back and go get it. We left it there. Anyway, where were we at? The NCAA, just an organization that's had all of their power pretty much removed. So anytime they have a situation where they are able to flex their muscle a little bit, seems like they're trying to overcompensate here in this deal with this kid. We've had paperwork on this guy since January or so. Coach Shane Beamer has told us. I don't know why he would have any reason to lie about that. And we still haven't made a decision. This is just abhorrent. These guys should be ashamed. If I was him, I'd sue right now. Just go on ahead and get it over with. But they don't want to tell him no and then him turn around, sue them, and get a court date before the season starts. And then give him an injunction so he can play. It's all a mess. I don't think the guy's going to play in 2025 for South Carolina. If he does, I think it'll be several games into the season. I think this might be a Tez Walker type situation from North Carolina from a few years ago. But you've got running backs in that running back room that can tote the rock. Oscar Attaway can tote the rock. He done a good job last year for South Carolina. He was the backup to Rocket Sanders, didn't have as many touches this year. Let the dude do his thing. I think he'll be a good running back from South Carolina. Do I think he's great? No. I think he's good catching the ball out of the backfield. He's a different type runner than Rocket Sanders is. You've got Jawarn Howell from South Carolina State, who I'm still really high on. This guy is a different type of runner as well. Keeps his balance really good. He had some nice runs in the bowl game. The bowl game we lost to Illinois. Yeah, everybody likes to point that out. Lost the bowl game to Illinois. Those will be the same people who also sit there telling you bowl games don't matter at the end of the season, but they'll be crowing about South Carolina losing theirs to fucking Illinois by 4 points. And then there's this transfer from Colorado who's kind of a Trump. We're going to talk about Colorado in a second. The trump card, Isaiah Augustave. We don't know what he could do. This guy's a 4-star recruit. Played 1 year at Colorado, I believe. Played a little bit at Arkansas. Colorado had no running game last year. All they did was throw the ball in an effort to pad Shadur Sanders' stats. So he's coming over. The whole thing is going to hinge on the offensive line at South Carolina taking a huge step forward and finally utilizing some of that talent that they recruited the past few years. 41 sacks they gave up last year, guys. 41 sacks. And that was even with the elusive Lenora Sellers at quarterback. That was even with them giving up 0 against Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. If they could just cut that number in half, just cut it in half. Just hell, cut it down to 25. To me, that's worth a win and a half. If I'm just looking at that from the outside, it's worth a win and a half. So the woes that everyone is crying about on defense, we got to replace all these players, yada, yada, yada. If South Carolina can score 7 more points a game, I think they're putting themselves in a pretty good situation. So those are just my 2 cents on that. You know my whole thing on the Faison deal. I think he's going to be a great running back for us if they can get him on the field. However, I have serious doubts whether they're going to get him on the field. And to me, hindsight being 2020, I just wouldn't have messed with it. I don't understand. There were other running backs in the transfer portal that didn't have this kind of baggage. And I'm not saying that he's a bad guy or anything of that nature, but why put yourself in that situation when you don't have to? I would have just left this alone and let somebody else try to go after him. just too many concerns there with the eligibility for me. When you're trying to take that next step forward as a team, and this could be a key piece for you, it's a key transfer position to be bringing in. I don't understand why you would want to try to go after someone with those many red flags. So those are my 2 cents. A prediction on South Carolina right now. It's going to be coming soon, guys. It takes a lot of research to do these team-by-team prediction videos, game-by-game prediction videos. If you ever watched Uncle Lou, he'll tell you about the research he has to put in, the work he has to put in on one of those videos. And he's not lying. I've done plenty of them in my time, and you're putting yourself in for several hours worth of work. You know, looking at the internet, looking at magazines, various forms of media, to try to get a beat on a team and make a good, educated prediction, which is what you want to do. You want to make an educated, good prediction video, right? There are some of these guys out there that make these videos on teams. I don't think they have a foggy clue what they're talking about. And they just don't. They'll tell you players' names wrong. They'll name them out of position. They'll tell you the wrong class they're in. I mean, which I know with the transfer portal and all this crazy stuff, with all that happened, with the COVID eligibility year, yeah, I know. If you didn't have the internet to look at and Google and tons of different ways to figure things out, I could see you possibly making those mistakes. But no, you shouldn't be making those errors and stuff like that, in my opinion, if you're going to make a good, educated prediction video. Not to say Carolina Jackpot doesn't make mistakes, which I do. We're going to talk about Deion Sanders for a minute. So he comes out yesterday with his medical team, which I only saw one lady there talking, but maybe I missed some of his conference. He had like a prostate cancer, bladder cancer. He had a tumor removed off his bladder, and I think they had to take his entire bladder out during the off season. He lost a bunch of weight. And I think he was dealing with issues that nobody knew about, I guess, except for those closest to him. Look, I'm glad the guy got it cut out. I'm glad he's cancer-free. I'm sure it was very scary for him, very scary for his family. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of college football fans. Some of them are the most loyal people in the world, and at the same time, you have those who turn around and be the most fickle individuals in the world. I saw a ton of comments yesterday. So I'm glad he's okay. Coach Prime's great for the sport. I'm a huge Coach Prime fan. Well, you know, a lot of you know you weren't. I mean, no, you weren't. There were a lot of people on here making, ugly remarks, bashing him, like making fun of this deal and stuff, which is just insane, just crazy that people would do that and take shots at something that you're that low. To do that, and then we're going to turn around and tell everybody that he's great for the sport and that I'm glad he's okay. I am glad he's okay. Do I think he's great for the sport? Not really. I mean, I don't like his coaching style. His personality is I don't know. It kind of rubs me the wrong way. Some people like that shock jock type persona with the whole standoffishness. It's almost like he's a big teenager or something. Like he's got this chip on his shoulder. I mean, why? Why you got a big chip on your fucking shoulder for? Why? I mean, you're a multi-freaking million. Who knows how much money this guy's worth? Okay, I mean, you've seen everything, you've done everything, you've experienced everything. I mean, you have basically zero. He has zero college coaching experience. He coached in high schools and in private schools to coach his sons. And then he gets a head coaching job at Jackson State, rides the coattails of his son's athletic success there, and parlays that into a job at Colorado. Where, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, if you didn't have Travis Hunter there playing for you, I don't know that you win 5 games last year. But you did. But people acting like, they think that he's the best thing since sliced bread, and he's great, and I've always loved Coach Prime. No, just because the guy got sick, you can do like I'm saying. I'm glad that he's not sick anymore. I'm glad that he's got this taken care of, and he's going to be able to coach. But I don't like his coaching style, and his persona is definitely leaves a little bit of something to be desired. I saw him at the Big Ten Media Days. That someone from the Athletic addressed him, said, "So and so, I'm from the Athletic." He asked him a question, and he says, "Okay, well, it's going to be real short because with the Athletics, y'all ain't nothing but full of a bunch of bull craps." The Athletic's like one of the most respected sports publications out there, internet-wise. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, it's not like Football Scoop or the Bro Bible or whatever that thing is that Sports Talk Jay references all the time. This is something credible here, but they're a bunch of bull craps. I guess they printed something you didn't like. It's probably something that was facts, and it just rubbed you the wrong way. By the way, with Sports Talk Jay, look, I don't know how to get a hold of you. I need you to get a hold of me. There's my email address, kale8670aol.com. kale8670aol.com. Boom, 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 boom. Let's do this thing. I mean, don't be trying to duck me and dodge me now. Don't be trying to duck me and dodge me a little bit now. I know you're upset about this whole Boo Carter situation. Old Boo Boo. What was it though with the Tennessee man? Old Boo Boo. He's going to show up for a team meeting, and they're about ready to throw a parade because Boo Boo is going to show up for a team meeting. That's just great. That's great. That's wonderful. Boo's going to show up for a meeting. He's going to show up and do what he's supposed to do as a college football player and a member of the Tennessee football team. Bravo, Boo. Thank you for showing up for the meeting. Good Lord. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I can't imagine. Some of these players have just went off the rails lately. They've absolutely went off the rails. I mean, you got one up there at Clemson who was threatening to pull a gun and have his boys run up on his teammates because they were a little bit pissed off because you weren't showing up for the damn workouts and you were being a shitbag to the team, a detriment to the team. And you didn't want to pull your weight to get better. So you was going to have your boys run up on them because they were making you do your job. Jeez. The character of some of these individuals is, and look, I'm glad South Carolina doesn't have any of them right now. I don't think. But that doesn't mean that we might not either. And I might not be sitting here having to defend this one of these days. But as for right now, I mean, I don't mind laughing at Tennessee and Clemson for it. Anyway, Sports Talk Jabroni needs to get a hold of Carolina Jackpot. Somebody tell me how I could get a hold of him. What golf course he plays at. Maybe I could swing by there on my way to vacation next week and have a word with him and we can get this thing set up. Anyway, I'll see you guys later on. Peace. I'm out of here. Go Gamecocks. Woo!